evening. Happy Wednesday. Happy middle of the week. Happy hump day. Happy all those things we think of Wednesday being. Happy, I hope your week is going great. I hope that you have remembered who you are and what you can do and the power that is inherent within you and all of that good stuff. That's what I hope for you. Hi, Laura. Glad you're here. Good evening. Happy Wednesday. We're midway through this week. I think we're going to make it. Don't you? I caught the very end of the talk from the mayor of Los Angeles tonight, and it was awesome. He kind of got down off his political platform and really talked to the people about saving lives and what we might be in for yet come this winter, and taking care of each other and taking care of ourselves and doing what we know we need to do to be safe to get past this coming challenge. I was really taken by it. Hi, Heidi. Glad you're here. Happy that my friends are showing up. I love that. It's kind of like when you send invitations out to a party and then you wait to see who's going to show up. I want everybody to be here. I love you all. And two of my favorites are here already. I see you. So happy Wednesday. Happy transformation. Happy life. How's your week going? What's on your mind? Happy Wednesday, Dana. Glad you're here. How are things going, folks? What's going on in your life? What can we offer prayer support for? How you feeling? How you feeling about life and about the current set of circumstances in the world? Let's put it that way, and then that leaves it open for you to pick whatever circumstance you like to actually get behind and talk about. Let's talk about that a little tonight. It's been a very interesting year, and I know a lot of us are saying we can't wait for it to be over, but what I know is that just because we say Happy New Year doesn't mean that as of midnight the world changes and it all either goes back to the way that it was, or it moves ahead to something wonderful. We take a lot of it with us, don't we? We take a lot of it with us. And if we take the same mindset with us with which we have created the current circumstances, we will perpetuate the current circumstances. Easy for me to say. So, we need to change our minds. Happy Woden's Day, Jennifer. Heidi's doing pretty good. I know it's hard to hear. Hold on just a minute. You may get a big yell in your ear, but hold on. I'm going to knock this up as high as I can. Ow. Sorry about that. I hope it wasn't as bad on your end as it was here. Here's the challenge. My computer is not recognizing my microphone.
Or mine.
Or, that's right, or hers. I switched out mine for Cax, and it's still not recognizing anything but the microphone on the webcam, which is less than ideal. But if I have to crawl under the desk one more time with a flashlight and find nothing, I'd rather be with you than do that. So tomorrow in the daylight, I will crawl under the desk and figure out what's going on. But for tonight, I will try to remember to speak up and just be a little bit louder than usual, maybe. How are we doing now? Can you hear me? Dana says she usually has to use one of her earphones. Yeah, see, we bought, count them, 2 new microphones. Actually 3, because we sent one back right away. Um, and I plugged mine in tonight, and Firefox. Don't ask me why I'm on Firefox. That's another whole story. Firefox did not recognize um, my microphone. So after fiddling around and crawling under the desk and plugging and unplugging and waiting and going in and coming back out again, blah, 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 after doing all of that, it still didn't recognize my microphone. So we unplugged mine and we plugged in CAX. It's right here. Its little green light is on. And Firefox doesn't know it's here. Firefox only recognizes the webcam. So I apologize if you have to listen harder. I will try to remember to speak up, and we shall proceed. And tomorrow I'll put on my computer fix-it outfit and crawl around. Heidi can hear me, but she's using a headset. Okay. Good. I think Kat can hear me too, and she's got earphones on. Okay. So if you've got earphones, you might want to use them. I don't know why this is doing this. I really don't. And I spent a half an hour trying to fix it, and it did nothing. Well, here, let me try this.
It sounds pretty good on earphones.
It sounds good on earphones?
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
Okay, so if you've got earphones, use them. If not, can you put your ear right up to the screen and maybe, no, that's not going to make a difference. I know it's not, but it sounded, lip read. Yeah, provided I'm in sync. Okay, Jennifer says she doesn't have a headset. Okay, so can you hear me pretty good? I hope you can hear me pretty good. And if you turn your sound up, and I've got my sound just all the way pushed up, I think that's the best we can do for tonight. And tomorrow I'll work my techie magic on it. But it's not letting me do a darn thing tonight. And I will try to remember to keep my voice up at a level that works better as well. I don't know why it doesn't like my microphone today. I feel bad. My poor little microphone.
A cat probably stepped on something.
Well, yeah, I would assume that was part of the thing, is that, some animal, probably a furry four-legged cat person, got under there and pulled something out. That's what happened last time I had a problem. But I had time to fix it, and it was daylight. It's just not that bright in here. I know it seems like it is, but it's not when you get under the desk. It's dark down there. So, okay. Alrighty then. So, okay. Tell Kirk I love him. Let me talk about what I was going to talk about. It's a place to go to for now. As long as I'm complaining about my microphone, I might as well complain about a few other things, and that's kind of where I am, speaking-wise, tonight. So, I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted just trying to ignore all the hype for Black Friday and Cyber Monday and Giving Tuesday, and I don't know what Wednesday is. I'm sure it's got some sort of a theme, and all this, everything's on sale, and all the other in-between holiday sales pitches that happen about now. Like there isn't enough to do this time of year. I was listening to a radio commercial on Thanksgiving that more than suggested that I was supposed to set my alarm for like 4 a.m. the next morning, preset the coffee maker for a really early brewing, and be off and shopping by something like 5 a.m. Are they kidding me? Are they serious? I mean, I know they are. I don't live in a cave. I watch the pictures of people lined up. But this year? And it seems like for a lot of people, the only difference this year is they're wearing a mask while they're lined up. Okay, so I was mumbling audibly to myself about commercialism and the state of the economy and the insanity of it all when I heard a little voice say, change your thinking, change your life. Okay, I said to the voice, okay. And just how do I do that about this when I'm being bombarded everywhere I look? And the voice said, get over it. Get over it. Get over it. So, in an attempt to get over it, I decided to have a conversation with the voice that seemed to know more about it than I did. So just how do I do that? I said to the voice. I mean, all of these commercials, everywhere I turn, all of this airtime. Couldn't they be doing something better with it? Of course they could, the voice said. But they aren't. And you're the one who's upset. They aren't. So, who has the real problem? Okay, I said. The problem's mine. Now, what do I do? And like a little automaton, the voice said, change your thinking. Get over it. How? Believe. In what? How about perfection? The voice said. Are you kidding? How do I see the perfection in all of this hoopla? All of this shop, 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 spend, 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 run up your credit card debt. This is hell. And the voice said, quit complaining and just know that it's perfect. Perfect God, perfect man, perfect life, perfect messages. I thought I was losing my mind. Perfect messages? How do I know that? Have faith. In what? In the perfection of it all. Yeah, right, I said. And I turned the radio off. But I couldn't shake the idea that the voice was right. That faith was the answer, not just my silly grousing, but the answer to all the problems that we fill our heads and our lives with. Dogs barking. Must be somebody delivering something. Hopefully a new microphone. So anyway, I went upstairs to the office and I found my copy of The Science of Mind, because that's kind of where I go when I recognize that the whiny little voice that I'm hearing is my own. And in The Science of Mind, I found this. We must have faith. And in order to have faith, We must have a conviction that all is well. In order to keep faith, we must allow nothing to enter our thought which will weaken our conviction. Faith is built up from belief, acceptance, and trust. Whenever anything enters our thought which destroys in any degree one of these, to that extent, faith is weakened. Whenever anything enters our thought which destroys in any degree one of these, belief, acceptance, and trust, to that extent, our faith is weakened. Fear weakens. We know that. Doubt weakens. Insistence that something is wrong, that we are poor, that we are unworthy, that it is shameful, that we are stupid, weak, anything like that, weakens. And in order to change things, we must be stronger than that. We must not be lukewarm in our conviction. We must know that we know a greater truth and build our faith on that, not on what we see or hear or imagine, but on what we can in our own hearts and minds truly believe. We've got to stop staring at the problem or affirming that there will be one. Because as long as we see a problem, we can't overcome it, and it may overcome us. By focusing on what's wrong, we give it life. We make it stronger. We animate it. We bring it to life with our thought, and in doing that, we magnify and perpetuate it. We have to get over the appearance or idea that it is a problem. We can admit it as a fact. A pain is a pain. A loss is a loss. An empty checking account is empty. We can admit the fact, but we don't have to affirm its necessity, or perhaps more importantly, its continuity. It was a fact for thousands of years that people did not have computers. But it was never a truth that they could not. It was not truth because had we discovered the microchip and had we known how to create computers and all the not as yet invented predecessors, we could have had them. Same with radio, television, vaccines. Too often we are absolutely convinced of the power of the problem, like I was with the radio commercials. And in the words of Somerset Maugham, we lay an exaggerated stress on not changing our minds. We say, but this is a real problem. Or, I can't do this. Or, this is too hard. Or, this is too big. Or, this is too bad. So, once again, I found myself with Ernest Holmes. There is then, he wrote, no limitation outside our own ignorance. And since we can all conceive of a greater good than we have so far experienced, we all have the ability to transcend previous experiences and rise triumphant above them. But we shall never triumph over them while we persist in going through the old mental reactions. Henry James called it the fatal futility of fact. I have the facts right here. There's too many commercials. I have the facts right here. It's going to be a lousy year. I have the facts right here. And as long as we persist in insisting that these things have to be real, then insofar as we insist they are. The problem, I think, is that we latch onto an idea, and then without thinking about what we're thinking about, we refuse to let it go. We really are part of the solution or part of the problem. I said that Sunday. I don't know about you. I'm tired of being part of the problem. We think. Metaphysicians are good at thinking. We think. You're all good thinkers, as a matter of fact. We just don't always keep thinking. We think about the problem and then stop. And rather than keeping our minds engaged until they go beyond the problem to the solution, we get ourselves stuck in the problem. Pascal said, man is made for thinking. I like that. Man is made for thinking. Therein lies all his dignity and his merit, and his whole duty is to think as he ought. Boy. He'd have been a good teacher, wouldn't he? Wouldn't you like to have had a teacher that said that to you? Your duty is to think. To think as you ought. Not just think, but think as you ought to think. I like that. So here's the thing. If you are convinced of the problem and keep your mind there, so it is. If you keep thinking and convince yourself of the presence of power, of the wisdom available to you, then that becomes your reality. Your faith in that something bigger than the problem changes it. If we can remove ourselves from the condition, if we can reach spiritual conviction, if we can reach a place where we know that Spirit in us, through us, can demonstrate a different condition, then we'll never be disturbed by what appears to contradict the truth. We simply must need to know that the truth, the higher reality, the new condition which we claim is higher, is superior to the condition which we wish to change. And that the greater will always take precedence over the lower or the lesser. I think part of the problem is that too often we think that we are too insignificant to merit what appears to us to be a miracle. Or that we're just individually too small to make a difference. We've got to get over that. John 3:13. No man can ascend to heaven but he that came from heaven. No one can arrive at the idea that has not come from that place. We can't get to where we want to be unless we get over where we are. We must start with the ideal, the perfection, the perfect state, and believe with all of our hearts in its reality. And keep believing in its reality until it's a visible fact, until we can touch it, feel it, speak to it, know it is real. We can do that. We do it all the time. It really isn't so hard. We can't see the source of, of beauty or love or truth, but we can't doubt their existence. Now I'm feeling a little bit like, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. But you know, that wise man basically said, we see what beauty, love, and truth do, and we believe. So too life. God, creation, and changed circumstances. We have to let truth, the ideal, prevail. Imagine you were climbing a mountain. You're not going to catch me doing that, but you can imagine you're climbing a mountain if you'd like. And there are plateaus, aren't there? You can't always see the top. You can almost always see where you've been, but you wouldn't mistake the top or the places that you've been for where you are, would you? You are where you are because you kept going. Previous plateaus may have looked like they were higher, but, you know, it's all relative. If you look down, it can be dizzying. You can remember the places you stumbled, the places you fell. But if you look up, you see the sky. So, friends, look up. Don't look down. Whatever it is that is holding you back, get over it. We can wallow in the past, or we can climb out of our ruts, our trenches, our foxholes, and our early graves. And we can look up at the mountain and the sky to the higher ideal. Ernest Holmes wrote, there are different mental depths and heights from which we may look out upon life. From whatever level we look, that which we see comes back to us by an invariable law of attraction. That which we look upon is real while we look at it. We arrive at a consciousness of unity only in such degree as we see that what we are looking for, we are looking with and looking at. Heaven, he wrote, is lost merely for the lack of a perception of it. Hell is the phantom abode of our imagination. And heaven and hell are states of consciousness. Change your mind, the voice said. Get over it. What great advice. It recognizes that we are part of the creative order. And it would be very, very smart of us to make use of that truth. And better to use it constructively instead of destructively, which all of us have perfected at some point or another. For happiness, not misery. So that we may desire to arrive in heaven, not hell. Our destination is in our intention. Our lives in any moment are complete and perfect, yet always in process. always creating, always moving from one place to another. Every experience, if we pay attention, teaches us to transcend our previous experience. Teaches us what we need to know to get to the next plateau. Teaches us to move forward in ever ascending path, always upward bound. Whatever it is, whether it's a health challenge or a relationship challenge or a listening problem, too much of maybe a good thing. It's not an unsolvable problem. It is an unprecedented opportunity to experience the presence and the power of God within you, to grow, to know, to go higher. When we let go of our insistence on the power of appearances, the effects that surround our lives, we begin to recognize instead the power of spirit within us. And our thoughts rise above the situation. Our thoughts get over the situation. And with God, we go forth anew into creation and change things. And when we speak from that elevated, elated, God-present space within us, the Almighty itself has spoken. And creation is called up. And as we were promised when we were told that if we had the faith of a grain of mustard seed and tell the mountain to move, it will. It will. When we claim the reality of heaven on earth, the earth and its problems will move. Now, hear me, I'm not saying you don't have a problem, because if you do and you claim it, you certainly do have it. What I am saying is this: don't sink under it. Claim a higher reality, a higher truth. Yes, you've got that and you don't want it. Well, then what's the higher truth? Yes, you don't have that and you do want it. Then what's the higher truth? Yes, there were too many commercials on the radio the other day, and they were driving me crazy. And what's the higher truth? That one was simple. Turn off the radio. Whatever it is, get over it. Go higher. Go bigger. Go to God. Get over it. Think better. Take the high road. Go directly to spiritual truth. Whatever it is, get over it. And it will change. And so it is. Sometimes you just have to turn off the voices. Not the still small ones. The ones on the radio. Or the ones on the television. They're telling the bad news over and over again. And you got it. You got it. Now you don't need to depress yourself listening to more of it. Hit the mute button. Kat's good at doing it. She's good at hitting the mute button. I tend to keep listening, and all of a sudden it gets real quiet. She's better at that than I am. She says, that drives me crazy. I said, oh my God, it drives me crazy too. Well, I don't hate the little voice sometimes, Dana, but there are times when I want to go, well, see, the perfection would be it's just fine for somebody, isn't it? This is a public arena, this thing called radio. And it's fine for somebody, I'm sure. Somebody needed to hear that. It's me that's, as the voice said to me, they don't have a problem with this, the people who made the commercial. You do. Fix it. Get over it. You don't have to keep listening. You have to deal with the situation. Heidi says this year has felt like a windstorm. No kidding. A Santa Ana windstorm. Good girl. Good girl, Heidi. It's what it takes. And the moving forward is the getting over it, isn't it? I'm not going to let this thing keep me here in this place I don't want to be. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm going to rise above it. Speak up. Are you losing me? Okay. I will speak louder. And I'm speaking. See, I'm speaking into a microphone that I know isn't working, so isn't that silly? Perhaps if I move it out of the way.
Get over it.
Get over it, yeah. I am. I'm speaking, because it's here and the little green light's on, I'm speaking into it as though it could hear me. And it might be able to hear me, but it's not going to help you any. So we'll just speak here. Hey, I didn't say I had this thing perfected yet. I just said I understand it better. Get over it. That microphone's not going to work for me tonight. And the little one that's built into this webcam does a pretty good job, all things considered. You know, it's working for us. So we're going to bless it and love it. And hopefully it will help me figure out what the heck's going wrong with the one I keep speaking into that isn't being recognized. And the computer, what's weird is the computer knows it's here. Computer heard it, boing, when I plugged it in. Computer knows that it's here, but then it doesn't show up on anything. Things I don't understand. I don't have to know everything about everything, do I? No, I don't. I just have to know what to do about those things that aren't working. And I will crawl under the desk tomorrow and figure that out. It's not terribly ministerial, but it works when I do it. So that's what we'll do. So, guys, what's getting in your way? What do you need to get over? What can we help you get past and get over? What can we pray for? Let me know. That's what that little section down there is for. Tell us. What can we support you in knowing or accepting or believing or changing so that your life is what you want it to be? That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. To help you change your life for the better in the process of doing that for our own as well. Works, you know. This thing called life, Ernest Holmes called his book, one of his books. Always love that. It's one of my favorite of Ernest's books. This thing called life. Better yet, this thing called you. If you've got a copy of this thing called you, and I know a lot of you do because I recommended it in the foundation class forever, pull it out again one of these days and read it. You know how. You read it as though the title were this thing called me. You change the noun to make it personal. So it's this thing called me. And I do this and I do that. Just make the whole book personal. It's a short, little, bitty book, but it's wonderful. And it will remind you how wonderful you are. It will. It's one of the reasons I loved it. It's also a good book. If anybody ever asks you where to start, that's a real good one. I also always loved New Design for Living because it was less, oh, how do I say this? Holmesian. I kind of feel like The Science of Mind is written as though Ernest really wanted to be Ralph Waldo Emerson. And good for him. I'd like to have been Ralph Waldo Emerson too. But it's not the easiest reading. Most of you will remember that from your first time through it. New Design for Living is a compendium. It's simple. It's straightforward. It's a great first book. A great first book. Or a good reminder book. If you're looking for Christmas presents, how about a little Ernest Holmes? What a great thing. Change somebody's life by giving them that. You might not change it right away. Most of you know the story. My mother-in-law gave me, my first mother-in-law, not the one most of you met, my first mother-in-law gave me a copy of The Science of Mind as a wedding present. And I opened it up and I leafed through it, and every page seemed to say God on it. And I thought, I don't do that. I don't do that. I have my own relationship with spirit, but the G word always made me a little nervous because it sort of reminded me of the old stuff. And I didn't want to be reminded of the old stuff. So for almost 20 years, I think, well, maybe not quite that long, but for a darn long time, that book sat on my shelf and collected dust. And I didn't get rid of it because she would come over and, had to have the book around. And then a friend invited me to church at a real low point in my life and said, come on, it'll change your life. And I said, no, I don't do church. And so about a month later, she said, come on, it'll change your life. And I said, no, I don't do church. And she kept it up. And I finally said, I'll go if you'll shut up. If you will stop telling me I need to go to church. She said, I never said you needed to. I said you'd enjoy it. And I said, okay, fine, I'll go. But then you have to lay off. And she said, I will. And she was, in fact, good to her for her word, always, always. And I went once, loved it, went back, maybe went 2 or 3 times. Really thought it was interesting, but I still wasn't sure. I guess my life hadn't gotten bad enough. And so then when it did get bad enough, I went back on my own and never left. Let people know what you've got. And I know you can't exactly invite them to church right now because church just isn't happening. But we can do this. We can do this. You can invite them to this and just keep, do what Pat did for me. Just keep bugging them nicely and make deals if you need to. Listen to it once and I'll never bug you again. Just give it a shot. You might change their life. She certainly changed mine. And then by virtue of, can you see how that just rolling stone just keeps going? We change each other's lives. We do, just by showing up sometimes. So, I invite you to invite people. Jennifer, I love it. This year has been a test of all of our faith, hasn't it? And you do just keep coming back. beautifully, spontaneously. Yeah, Heidi, that's it. You know, if you're constantly rising up, getting over things, and moving forward, um, there's no choice. Yeah, invite your friends here. I'd love to have a party in Big Lake. And you can tell them we social distance. We did. And there's no hugging. You know, all those people who went to a metaphysical church once and left and never went back because people kept hugging them. No danger here. No danger. I won't even give virtual hugs. None of those threatening things that actual people represent. And a lot of good ideas that can change lives for the better. So, invite them. And print up a little invitation. Get one of those invitations like they have the Hallmark shops that come in packages of 12 for children. You are cordially invited to Wednesday night or Sunday morning or whatever. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'll do it if you'll do it. I think you guys are making fun of each other. Or me, I'm not sure which, but either way, it's just fine. As long as it's done with love. I hope you've been able to hear me. I've said some pretty decent things tonight.
Yes,
Yes?
wonderful.
Yes.
Keep speaking up.
Oh, was it Sunday or was it last Wednesday they all wanted to see you?
I don't know.
Was it Sunday or Wednesday? You guys will remember.
I don't have my antlers. I can go get my antlers.
You don't need to go all the way downstairs. You could just peek around the corner. You look pretty cute, I think.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, now we're fluffing.
There it comes.
He's fluffing. She didn't have to crawl under the desk.
That's right.
You look much more glamorous than I do.
Here we are.
There you go.
All right. There you go.
There you go. Okay.
I have
Appearance
my
made.
all right. Sparkle shirt.
Sparkle shirt. She has been going all day and ended the evening with a dentist appointment. So
And a talk show.
and a
interview.
talk show and an interview, which for a very short period of time, it was going to look like if she didn't get out of the dentist on time, I was going to be doing her interview show and mine. And I thought at that point, I am just going to look like hell by the time I get on Facebook. And that's when I discovered that the microphone wasn't working and crawled under the desk. So if I look a little less than perfect tonight, bear with me. Bad haircut and time under the desk. Oh, I love you guys. I really, really do. Yeah, thank you, Heidi. I hope you are all reading what you are writing because it's, oh, I'm on the TV and turned up to 100. That's bad sound. That is bad sound. But what a year. What a year. I mean, let's take just a moment and recap, shall we? This is not the year we expected. Last year on New Year's Eve when we said, Happy New Year! And wished each other a great 2020. Didn't we expect the best from it? 2020 had to be a fabulous year. Just sounds like a fabulous year. And then it all just kind of went to hell, didn't it? Or did it? I mean, yes, some horrible things have happened this year. No argument. But some great things have happened too. People have learned that they can be heroes and act accordingly. The election was not what any of us thought it would be. And it wasn't totally what we hoped it would be, nor was it what we were afraid it might be. It just was. And we have a new incoming president who seems to at least feel our hearts. And that's important, don't you think? And there will be more changes, won't there? There will be more. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens in Georgia in January, won't it? Won't it? Because that will change things. And whether for good or evil, who's to say? You know, that's like the old Chinese farmer story, which most of you could probably tell. I've told it enough times. Bottom line being, everything just keeps getting worse in the farmer's life. And the neighbors would come over and say, oh, that's bad. And the farmer would say, maybe good, maybe bad. Who's to say? And then something good would happen, and the neighbors would come over and say, oh, that's good. And the farmer would say, maybe good, maybe bad. Who's to say? The only thing we can know for sure is that change is coming. Maybe good. We pray for good. We claim good. But who's to say? We could not have predicted this year in any of its forms. And yet, my friends, we have survived it. We are here, now. And right here and right now is all the power we need, and all the truth we need, and all the presence of God we could ever ask for. And where two or more are gathered, that power is amped up even more. I know that. And so let's keep doing this, shall we? Being together and amping the power for good. There's a lot of negative thinking out there. I know none of you are guilty of it. But there's a lot of negative thinking out there, and a lot of expectation of horrendous things. Let us come together at least twice a week and affirm the opposite. Affirm that because God is in it, only good can happen. If enough of us know that, we can overcome anything. So, before I send you out into the world, Tina, you're making me laugh. Yeah, Dana, we have survived. And I think all of us have learned things about ourselves. What we do with that, maybe good, maybe bad. Who's to say? We are to say. Let us claim the good. So take a moment with me, if you will, and close your eyes if that's comfortable. Otherwise, just soft focus, whatever works for you. And And I claim for each of us that God is all there is, and we are right now, right in this holy moment, in the presence and power of God. Right now. No separation, no distance, simply in the power of God, in the presence of peace and joy and healing and wholeness and love and understanding and all of those things that each of us and our entire nation, our entire planet can use. We are the children of creation, and our job is to create according to that which we claim for ourselves and for our world. Let us claim good. Let us claim peace. Let us claim a smooth transition of power, and let us claim that that power is good. Let us know for ourselves, for our nation, and for our world, a peace that passes our humble understanding. A joy that lifts us above sorrow and regret and recrimination. And a love that lifts the world. Let us know that in the fires of this year that has passed, we have come to see the good, to be the best, and to treat life with all of the love that it desires. Let us know that we are part of the solution, not part of the problem. And let us live every moment, every day, and throughout the rest of this year and fully into the next and the next, in the awareness of the presence of God within us. And may we use that wisely, lovingly, powerfully, and well. Let us be grateful for what we have come through, for what we have discovered, for what we know, and for what we do. And so it is. So we let it be. And may Tina find $7 million to buy us a retreat center. No request is too big. Nothing is too big for God. Think of that. Remember that. Whatever it is, it's not too big for God. Which means, my friends, it's not too big for you. Whatever it is, get over it. I love you. I'll see you Sunday. Bring friends.